Ladies and gentlemen, today, I will finally be putting my 2 cents in for a band that I seem to have put off for a while. I'm not sure how it happened, because these guys really do fucking suck. They are Seether. They are a mainstream post-grunge rock alternative metal alternative pander band to the sheeple music listeners looking for something readily appealing all, while blending in with the quotidian on our American society's best guy, and Cabela's washover. Yet, they are from a country where you almost never hear of any musicians or bands coming from. South Africa. That's where they originated. They've probably relocated somewhere for easy proximity from their record label. To begin, let me mention the album cover. Just what the hell am I looking at? How is this supposed to make me feel? Whatever the intention is, this little doll girl thing's face is way too fucking wide to be seen as an object of beauty. Her eyes look like those of aliens, her nasal bridge looks dreadfully eroded, and her neck is too fucking short. All of which bastardizes her straight cut bangs, which is a classic look to go on many girls. So she seems to be pulling her shirt apart and all that shows is a bare rib cage. I guess this is to appeal to all the scene emos and goths spindling their likes about the tree of music culture. The album's title is made into imitation Asian scroll type, which is to appeal to weeaboos, many of whom have crap taste in music, as in all the pop-punk, emo and melodic hardcore soft garbage. But instead of being in Chinese, Japanese, or Korean, it's just dumbed down to English letters with the font changed to imitate Asian symbols. It's just like something an American restaurant chain would do to draw appeal to kids. It's just fucking stupid looking. The band's logo looks like crap, in all honesty. I mean, it's 2007 at this point. You can't draw up a better logo than this so-called fringe, mental hospital patient writing. I can't fucking stand liner notes with this script style, I must mention. I just purchased a few albums like this past month, and it's a goddamn nightmare to read the lyrics. And they aren't emo hardcore albums. And I still can't stand to look at her face. Dear album liner note designers, cut this shit out. Overall, this image rubs me the wrong way, and I can't be specific as for why this is. It could just be that my personal taste has surpassed artwork like this. It makes me think of children's books that I've seen at Barnes & Noble lately, many of which have opted for digital illustration style, none of which is as effective as the traditional hand-painted and drawn book cover art from before, say the year 2002. It just looks like the cover for a kid's fantasy ghost story novel series, and it would be hard to be complimentary to their sonical representation, that is, if they were a good band. Oh, and I don't read children's books, if you're thinking that. I've only gone to the children's section with my friends, when they were Christmas and birthday shopping for their little brothers. Hey guys, this is me inside. This is my favorite album to listen to. It makes me nice and one of the hits in my nowhere American town. I like to wear shirts with this art style everywhere I go. I have lots and toys and memorabilia that look like this album cover. Hey, this is the new generation I'm representing. She also looks like one of those Bratz dolls, you know, the Barbie competitor. And this album cover is not metal. So, in order to listen to this album, I had to go to the library and check it out in order to do this review. When I picked up the CD off from the rolling cabinets, the giant, cracked / nearly chewed up spine of the jewel case left me bewildered. I guess Seether fans are a bunch of savages. I'm surprised the disc even worked. The album itself is not even 5 years old, and it already looks like the DVD case for Space Jam. Yes, apparently, people in my town are a cult of followers for that movie. It's too bad I didn't have my cyber shot with me on that visit. Oh, how I love the gamble that is shared library material. I should do a rant on that sometime soon. Track 1 is like suicide. Where to begin? It's like a hard rock cokehead song. It has very generic chords and vocals, and screams on top of that. I remember hearing this on the radio back in 2007 and at a party. I barely noticed the song at the time, and that's mostly because the song isn't good enough to warrant my remembrance. By the sounds of it, this is clearly a go-to band for the general public down past the northern Kentucky and West Virginian border. Or perhaps even the southern Michigan border. I can't pinpoint it, there's a lot of trash in this country. The next song takes the characteristics of the first song and cranks up the southern rock and country appeal to a metamorphical degree. Faker is another song that I had heard in the radio which I either had to switch or hopes somebody else was, if the song wasn't already in the process of ending. It has a lot in common with Nickel's Mac. A carbon copy, almost. The riffs are oversimplistic, the vocals remain in that Chad Kroeger register, and the songwriting can be achieved by a 6-year-old, for crying out loud. Breakdown is a semi-ballad that once again can be categorized among Nickelback and Three Doors Down type bands. It's a sterile song that goes nowhere. Other tracks like Fallen, 6 Gun Quota and Fuck Me Like You Hate Me reiterate everything done in tracks 1 to 3. In other words, it's all samey mush. Samey like Chevelle is. They would make great friends, come to think of it. One of the worst songs in this album includes Rise Above. They transition to the soft and dull stadium country pop style pop rock direction. The main riff progression is quite lifeless and could certainly be substituted for a studio pre-recording, as if from Kevin MacLeod. Arguably, I don't even hear a guitar for the majority of the song. Not to mention the vocal harmony part in the bridge nearly made me start laughing uncontrollably. It sounds like absolute garbage and a mark of poor songwriting and taste. Just think back to that On song from the Black Veil Brides album. There is very little difference between these two slop turds. No Jesus Christ has a brain-numbing repetitive clean to electric overdrive riff during the first 2 minutes. And that repetition is what kills the song. It apparently detests organized religion, but it's not like the more effective work hasn't been made in the 25 years preceding the induction of Seether onto broadcasts. The 9th track, Walk Away from the Sun, sounds like another one of those songs you hear on mainstream rock radio, because you don't have satellite radio and there's only 5 other stations, half of which are adult contemporary. Gross. Here are some of the lyrics. Walk away from the sun, come slowly and done. I can see in your eyes I've already won. I could bleed for a smile, I could cry for some fun. Walk away from the sun, and tell everyone. That's just the first verse. The rest of the lyrics are pitifully, just as bland. The vocal recitation shows absolutely no passion, and being the 9th track in this album, what a terrible move. How can anyone be engaged with this shit? The lyrics of Don't Believe are so awful. Including the line, where he says the very disjointed sounding. Stink turns to smell. I bet this guy is never sober. Eyes of the Devil drags the most out of every song on here and I was certainly yearning to turn the CD player off. There's this I'm weak passage that occurs before 45 seconds in, and it's just deplorable. Just more power chords which sound quite muddled in the mix, and one of many hard to distinguish hard rock songs. The last 2 tracks are quite forgettable. And the George Michael cover? What for? Even though I don't listen to his music, I'm certain I can rest on the contention that this cover is listlessly ineffectual. Essentially, it's an outdated pop song that I am only vaguely familiar with from some movie or elsewhere. As a bonus addition to the main track listing, it's like a smatter of blackheads in a face full of acne. It's like a talent show band playing a guitar and drums cover of a theme song from a sheet music book. The lack of innate artistic sensibilities really show there. This album is pile of hard rock garbage. Every second of it rips with sterility commonly observed in a hospital or doctor's office. The band are guilty of producing a 50-minute collection of poor inspiration regurgitations of every mainstream rock pulpit act from the 5 to 7 years preceding the album's release. The sound of this band is the equivalent of that dry, flat, Burger King fast food taste. It's not for those who have taste in the not-so-basic and obvious elements of rock. Apparently, they have released a new album this year, back in May. I haven't heard anything from it yet, but what's there to expect, based off of what I've heard from this album, as in all the things I dislike about it. And the lead singer has pink hair. Don't listen to this album, unless you want to take road trips through nowhere Midwest towns in which the Dairy Queen in the freeway is the hangout. Buy better music. Don't buy Seether.